Hello again, Graham from ArionGames here, and today I've got something a bit special. I've set up a bit of an interview with Sam Byford, who is the editor of the Warlock Returns, which is the new fanzine for Advanced Fighting Fantasy. Now, this has been in the works a little while, but it is now out, and it is fantastic. So, Sam has been involved with ArionGames in one capacity and another for a few years now. But Sam, just tell me, how did you sort of get into fighting fantasy? Is it a long-term thing or is it recent?
So my role-play gaming started quite late. Solo game books, I'm probably one of the only people that didn't really get into Advanced Fighting Fantasy as a kid. The one gaming book that I've actually still got on my shelf, which I rediscovered when I was doing some tidying up a while back, is Asterix and Obelix, Operation Britain.
Not a Stephen Ian one then?
No, afraid not. So really, when I bought my first property over in Essex, I met a LARP gaming group called Sea Axe and Sorcery.
Oh yeah.
And the gentleman Gary Bates who runs that, and he's a big advocate for Advanced Fighting Fantasy, and it's one of the games that he ran at the tabletop. So I've played it a few times with him, but I haven't actually played Advanced Fighting Fantasy in probably 8 years now.
Right.
So really, my knowledge on it is from proofreading and editing your books.
Well, we can sort that one out, that's for sure, especially with the new game room. When all of this virus has blown over, we'll have to host a game here of all of the Arion Games sort of associate members. Maybe that's something to aim for. So the fanzine has sort of been mooted for a while now. I know that I mentioned it at the Fighting Fantasy Fest last year. So how did the idea for it come about?
Oh, so someone was on forums. We've got quite an active forums at your website, and
I think we've lost the connection there.
Oh,
yeah, we lost the connection there just for a moment. Oh, there we go. I know how they feel now on BBC News when they keep losing their correspondents abroad. Sorry, carry on. Yeah.
It was discussed about the potential for doing a little fanzine, and I volunteered to help edit it. Why? But hey, it's been fun. I've enjoyed putting it together. It's been a bit of a learning curve. The last time I actually worked on a magazine as an editor was back in college when we did a mock magazine.
Okay.
I did proofread for a magazine called Tony. I've sort of had my fingers in the pot,
okay,
but haven't done anything like this in a long while. So had to learn it as I went along.
Well, it doesn't show. It's, it looks fantastic inside. We are having a few internet problems here, but it's not terrible, so we'll carry on. So obviously this is a fanzine. This is put together by fans of the game. We have the forum space where this is discussed, and there are a lot of people have been involved in this with ideas, with contributions. We have a fantastic cover by John Capsalis, who does all the Advanced Fighting Fantasy paper miniatures, and I think the look of it, the art, the feel of it, to me, really harks back to the classic days of fighting fantasy. There's a certain humorous edge to it. Fighting fantasy never took itself really, really seriously. So I mean, you even look at one of the classic game books. So City of Thieves, you've got the creatures in there called the Bays, little goblin-like creatures, and they're playing a game where one of them throws a ball, and another one hits it with a stick. Because it's Bay's ball, and you've got little things like that, and I think that sort of humour comes through in the fanzine. So we've got the cover there, and turn myself off there. And as you can see from the back page, there's a lot in there. How did you decide what to put into the fanzine?
So we knew from the start we needed some sort of pit reference. So we've got the Denizens of the Pit from Andrew Wright talking about Chaos Dragons, and that's going to be a staple, I hope, for each issue, different set of monsters each time. So I knew we needed some staples of a magazine which you get in every issue. So that is that one. And then I wanted some instant stuff that is just kind of one shot. So you've got the Chinese inspired weapons from Terry. And when I was speaking to Peter Ondine about his one-page dungeon, because I helped him to proofread that, I was like, can I use that? Can we throw that in here as just as a quick one shot? And he was like, yeah, by all means, go for it.
Excellent.
We've got other hopefully long-standing issues. So you've got the letters from Orion from yourself, which I need you to do me a new issue for this one.
Of course. Keep chasing me.
We've got Adrian Kennelly, who's already written me enough for the Bookworms and other GM, or I should say director-inspired advice for several issues to come.
Good.
And then you've got the Jungle, which I've got enough for about 8 episodes, 8 issues of work from Terry again. Stuart Lloyd, I beg pardon, talking about how to work in the jungle.
He's quite prolific, is Stuart.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff there for me. So I think the problem with that is actually going to be condensing it down to work in a couple of pages that I can give him.
Well, absolutely. And I saw one of the conversations the other day about a longer scenario for Stellar Adventures that is actually probably a 4 or 5 part adventure rather than just going into one. But again, I don't think that's a major problem. Even going back to the original Warlock magazine, you had 2-part game book, sort of mini game books in there. And I think it's a good thing. I think sort of breaking it up over various issues is a good plan. And the look inside, it looks fantastic. Again, we've got more Jaron Capsalis art there, and again, I think sort of the rather, and this probably sounds a bit strange, but the rather plainer layout style is having a bit of a renaissance now. The plain background. So that firstly you can print it, and secondly, not everyone is fantastic at reading text on printed backgrounds. I know I'm not. I think especially as we get older, picking out the text against the pattern can be awkward. So it looks classic, but it's really easy to read. And if you want to print at home, you can. But there will, I understand, be a print on demand version when we get the files done.
Yeah, that's already been tweaked slightly. There's a few things that needed editing, mainly on the covers, so that would work. From the accessibility side, it's something that I wanted to build in from the get-go. There's layers involved in this, so you can turn off the covers, you can turn off the images. So if you just need to print the text, you can. But that also makes it easier for screen readers, for people that are partially sighted or have no sight.
Yeah.
So that's something I built in from the day one was layers and the ability to turn things on and off.
Well, do you know, whenever I buy a PDF, say from Drive-Thru-RPG, one of the things I always look for is, does it have layers so you can turn off the art and so on and so forth? If it doesn't have those, I don't tend to buy it, simply because, or at least a print-friendly version, if layers are not possible, simply because not everyone wants to print a 400-page book in full colour with full backgrounds, and as you say, things like screen readers are easily confused by backgrounds. So the interior looks fantastic, and then of course we've also got that staple, as you said, of every fanzine, of every magazine, especially if you look to the glory days back in the 80s, the cartoon. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, so that's by our very talented Sean Gurria. The Legend of Garius, I think he's been working on it a while now. It's got 1 season currently out there,
right.
And he's been absolutely kind enough to pass that over to me. He also did the Agony Aunt page, so a little bit of light-hearted fun from characters that have asked questions, and then Garius has given his own variation on the answers.
Yeah, I'm not sure I take the advice too literally, but yeah.
Yes, it certainly provides an interesting take on things.
And what's been fantastic for me is we've released it over a week or so now, I think.
Yep.
You know, and it's sold fantastically. It's sort of one of the top sellers at Drive-Thru RPG in its category. The reviews have been fantastic. The feedback has been fantastic, and we've not even, you know, got the print-on-demand version out there yet, which will also give it that boost. So it does seem really, really popular, and that's great, because with an enterprise like this, even now, after 15 or so years of running Arion Games, I still have this niggling worry that I put a product out and it sells one copy in the first 3 months.
Yeah.
And you think, all that effort, why did I do that? And I've not had a product do that, luckily. But it you know, there is always that niggling doubt then. So to see it do so well in the first week or so is fantastic. It shows the strength of support that Advanced Fighting Fantasy and Fighting Fantasy has, but it's also testament to you bringing everything together and the skill of the contributors.
Yeah, the writers have been absolutely fantastic. We hit copper in 24 hours, and we're only a stone's throw away from silver. So yeah, I'm happy with that. The testament, I think, as I've said to all my friends, will be whether issues 2, 3, 4, 5 carry on.
Excellent. Well, so obviously that's the next thing I was going to ask you. So what are the plans for the future? How often are you going to be looking to put one of these out?
The aim is to be quarterly. So I've already started work on the second issue, putting in the some of the items that I've already received. The front cover's done, with the exception of the in this issue context. So I'm hoping to have it all ready for the end of November so that it can be released in December. Still a Christmas present for people.
That's fantastic. That's really, really good news. So obviously you're going to need a few things from me. Keep harassing me. Are you open to sort of contributions from new writers and artists?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They can email me with ideas at warlockreturns@whitehairgames.uk, or they can.
Are you okay if I put a link to that underneath the video?
Absolutely. It's also at the bottom of the editor's piece in the first issue. If they do have that, they can just click the link on the PDF and it will automatically email me.
Fantastic. Good. So thank you very much for talking to me. It's a nice sunny morning, as you can see from behind me, at least where I am. So keep up the good work, and hopefully everyone out there enjoys the Warlock returns.
I hope so too.
Right, thank you very much, and to everyone out there, until next time, good gaming.